Hello riders, in this video I'm going to show you how to install heated grips on your motorcycle. The model I use is from Oxford. The reason I choose this model instead of any other on the market is because this one could be connected directly to your battery. So you don't need to cut the wirings or to make some kind of very difficult or expensive procedure. Actually, it's a very simple procedure and usually take about an hour. Stay with me. The very first step you have to do is to remove the one you already have. I had actually heated grips, but they stopped working for some reason, and now I will need a knife to cut it from there, because when I installed it a few years ago, I glue it with this simple glue, and now I'm gonna need this knife to remove it. First, I have to deassemble everything around the handlebar to have access to the actual grips. To have the better access to the actual grips, I will remove also the control elements from both sides, left and right. Actually guys, I'm gonna keep the right one because it holds the throttle on the place. If I remove all of these parts, the throttle will get out and the cables will get out, and I don't want to mess with all of this or to make an extra job. That's why I'm gonna keep it, because this grip I will cut it anyway. What you have to do now is just take this out, because as I said, I glued it last year. It might take a little force to remove it, or a screwdriver from here just to open it a bit. And yeah, it will take a little force, but you can do it. Yeah. Here we have one very important step. After you remove the grip, you have to clean very well the surface from the old existing glue. The reason of that is because if it's not cleaned well, you cannot install actually the new grip, and you have to do it with no pressure, just with a little pressure. You don't need to bang it from that side. If you do it, you can damage the wirings inside and they will not going to work properly. I don't want to force the throttle on this way or that way, because I might break it. I will just cut the existing grip with a knife, something like that. And the same procedure apply here. You have to clean this surface very well. Do not leave the old glue on the top, because it will be a problem to install the new grip after that. After you finish, make a simple inspection with your fingers. If you feel some kind of bumps, clean it again and again until you have this nice and smooth surface. You can use a sandpaper, don't scratch it so deep, or a cloth just to polish it, to be sure that everything is clean. The next step is to install the actual grip. Keep in mind that each one of the grips has this mark, like R for right and L for left. Just don't make mistakes. This is the way, and you have to put it in and apply just a little force, not so much. I will recommend to add some water, or you can just simple split on it like this, just to make some kind of lubrication. Do not use oil, because later when you want to glue it properly, this oil might be a problem. So as I said, you have to apply just a little force like this, and you should be able to go up to the end without so much force. Never press that way, never bang it from that side, because if you do, you will damage the simple wirings inside and it's not going to work properly. So with a little force, you should be able to go up to the end like this. So just leave it for now. Do not put any glue before you finish with the whole installation. This is very important, because after we mount the grips, we have to check all the wirings, we have to make the cables go properly, and I will check the system, and when everything is done, when the system works and everything is already done, then I'm gonna glue it. So you have to repeat the same procedure on the left side, but something very important. Now, as you can see, my handlebar has this small marks here, or some kind of grip, and it is actually very, very difficult to install the new one. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna polish all of this, and before I even try it. So as I said earlier, the grip needs to go with the easy way, not to press, not to bang from that side. Once again, don't bang it that way. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna polish and clean this surface. You can make it with sandpaper, or I will use even this tool. I don't know what is exactly the English word of that, to polish and cut some of these sharp edges here, and just to make it possible to have this smooth access. After all of this is done, again you have to inspect it properly with your hand, and now you should be able, very easy or with a little force, to install the grip. Again, use this very special lubricant to make it even easier. Look at now, with a little force, by twisting around and pressing at the same time, you have to be able to reach the end. Something like that, or maybe a little backward. That's it. And again, do not use any glue before the whole procedure is finished. It's very important. And when you finally decided to glue it, check your clutch, because now if I leave the grip in this position, actually the clutch hitting here. Let me show you. Look at what exactly it happens at the moment. You see the clutch lever touching the grip. What I have to do is to twist it this way, just like that, maybe this way, and then the clutch is fine. That is enough, I think. It's very, very important. And now is coming one of the most difficult parts of everything, is to take off all the old cables and remove all of that stuff, and add the cables under the tank, or actually roll the cables under the tank up to my battery, which is under the seat. And for any bike is different, but for my bike I have to remove the tank. This is not so easy procedure, and I'll be back after a few minutes when I've done everything. When you finish with the hardest work, to route all of the cables under the tank and connect it to the battery, straight onto the battery, positive to positive, negative to negative, very simple. Then there's just one job to do. You have to mount somewhere the control unit. As you can see, I did it here, very simple. Just unscrew these two bolts and mount it straight away. And then you have to connect everything. On the control unit, there are 3 different plugs. The longest one you have to connect to the cable which is coming from the battery. Just very simple, like this. Click it. And then the actual grips, you have to connect it to the existing two. There is no difference left or right, because they all will work. It doesn't matter. And when all of this is done, they should work. To do so, we have to start the engine. And then press it. I don't know what is able to see, and I'm gonna show you now. I turn on the engine and it's work. I can just control the level from here, go up to maximum, and they should start work in a few minutes time. That's very simple. The good news is that when you turn off the engine, it stays still on, but in about a few minutes time, when this control unit actually notices that the level of the battery drop, it will turn off automatically. I'm not gonna wait now just to show you this, but I already tested many times. After just few minutes, it's go to battery saving mode, and after a few more minutes, it's just turn off. When everything is done, you route the cables, you test the grips, and everything works perfectly, and you're 100% sure that everything is correct, then you have to glue the grips. The glue I'm going to use, it's a very simple. I bought it from a local store. It cost me 3-4 euros, and it is a bit flexible, which is mean that it's not going to stuck for a couple of seconds. It needs at least 5 minutes, but for the best result 24 hours. So this type of glue you have to use because it will give you some kind of possibilities to move or change something if you're not happy with the result. Just apply a little bit, not so much, just a little bit. You don't need to spray it everywhere. You need just a simple few drops. That's all, no more than this. And then mount the grip to the desired level. Remember what I told you about the clutch here, the level of the clutch where you can press it. And that's it. Leave it for at least 24 hours. Repeat the same procedure on the throttle grip. Remember, not so much, just a little. If you add so much, the result will be that everything will go up to here, up to the end, and it's not going to be exactly what you think. Okay, so this should be more than enough. So guys, that's it. You don't have to be some kind of mechanical guru to mount your heated grips. It's a very simple procedure, and almost anybody could do it if you follow just a few simple steps I told you. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for 2 videos per week. Ride safe. Ciao.